Okay, Sophy, let's dive into it. We've talked about Wednesday before, but I feel like Young Sheldon deserves its own episode. I mean, it's not just a prequel, it's a completely different emotional journey.
Absolutely. And you know what's wild? I started watching Young Sheldon expecting laughs and quirky science jokes, but I ended up crying in some episodes. It's way more heartfelt and layered than people give it credit for.
Right? The emotional weight in Young Sheldon hits harder than you'd expect. Like, we know Sheldon grows up to be this emotionally distant genius, but watching how he becomes that through his childhood, his relationship with his dad, Missy, Mima, it just hits different.
Speaking of Mima, can we just take a second to appreciate her character? She's such a contrast to Sheldon. Wild, sarcastic, unpredictable, and yet, she's the one who really gets him, in her own way.
Totally. Mima's like his anchor outside the scientific world. She challenges him but also loves him fiercely. Annie Potts, the actress, brings such a vibe to the role. Southern sass mixed with genuine wisdom. And then there's Mary, Sheldon's mom. Zoe Perry, who plays her, is actually the real-life daughter of Laurie Metcalf, who plays adult Mary in The Big Bang Theory. That's such a cool connection.
Yeah, and it works so well. Zoe Perry brings this intense, loving, religious mom energy to the role. She's constantly trying to protect Sheldon from the world, but also from himself.
That conflict between faith and science is a recurring theme in the show, right? Mary's strong Christian beliefs versus Sheldon's need for empirical proof and logic. It's a constant tension in their relationship, and yet there's so much love between them.
Exactly. It's never preachy, it's just real. You see that push and pull in families all the time. And George Sheldon's dad, I have so much more respect for that man now. He's not the deadbeat Big Bang made him out to be.
Yes. I was just about to say that. George Cooper Sr. is one of the most misunderstood characters. In Young Sheldon, he's supportive, patient, and trying so hard to hold his family together. And his relationship with Georgie is honestly so underrated.
Georgie deserves more love, too. I used to think he was just a dumb jock stereotype, but he's actually got depth. He's resourceful, loyal, and totally the opposite of Sheldon, but in a way that balances the family.
Missy, though. Let's talk about Missy. She is the queen of comebacks. Like, Sheldon will say some genius-level insult, and she'll just roast him with one word. I live for her sass.
She's such a grounded character. While everyone's either trying to figure out Sheldon or survive him, Missy is just being a kid. A smart, emotionally aware kid. I think she's going to be a fan favorite forever. You know what makes the show really work, though? It's not just Sheldon, it's the ensemble. Every character brings something real to the table. Even Pastor Jeff or Principal Peterson, they're not just comic relief. They show how Sheldon affects everyone around him. And the writing. I love how the narration by adult Sheldon ties it all together. Jim Parsons coming back as narrator was genius. It gives that extra layer of perspective. Like, this is how I saw the world then, and now I understand it better. Some of my favorite episodes are when the narration reflects adult Sheldon's regret or realization, like when he talks about how he didn't appreciate his dad while he was alive. That stuff breaks me.
Yeah, especially knowing what's coming. You feel this slow build-up to something heartbreaking. The show never rushes it, but it's always lingering. That's real storytelling.
Exactly. And even though we know Sheldon grows up okay, emotionally distant but successful, the journey there is full of tiny tragedies and wins. Watching his family shape who he becomes, it's kind of beautiful. Would you say it's better than The Big Bang Theory?
OOF. That's hard. I'd say it's deeper. The Big Bang Theory made us laugh, but Young Sheldon makes us feel. It's more character-driven than gag-driven.
Same here. I love them both, but Young Sheldon feels more human. You know? You see the roots of Sheldon's quirks, and instead of laughing at them, you understand them.
Totally. And you appreciate how hard it was for him to become who he is. It's not just genius, it's resilience, awkwardness, love, fear, all wrapped in a bow tie and high IQ.
Perfectly said. So for anyone who skipped Young Sheldon thinking it's just a spin-off, go back. Start it now. It's not just a comedy. It's a story of a boy trying to fit into a world that was never built for him, and a family trying to love him through it all. Honestly, it's one of the best character studies on TV right now. Watch it. You'll laugh, cry, and maybe understand a little more about people who think differently. Alright, let's switch gears a bit. Sophie, one of the reasons I love Young Sheldon, besides the heartwarming storyline, is how much everyday American idioms and expressions pop up throughout the dialogue. It's like an English learner's treasure chest.
Yes. And what I love is that the show uses Southern idioms too, because it's set in East Texas. So you get this mix of standard American expressions and these Southern gems that give the show its unique flavor.
Let's break a few down. One that comes up often, usually from Mima, is "bless your heart." Now, that one sounds sweet, right? But it's got layers.
Oh, big time. If Mima says, "bless his heart," she might actually mean, "that boy's an idiot." It's like a passive-aggressive Southern way of being polite while throwing a little shade.
Exactly. Another classic is "he doesn't have two nickels to rub together." I think George says this in season 2 when they're talking about someone's financial problems.
Right. It means the person is broke, completely out of money. These colorful idioms show up in the show all the time, especially when George or Connie are talking about family finances.
And here's one Sheldon uses literally and doesn't understand metaphorically. "The apple doesn't fall far from the tree." It comes up when people compare Sheldon to his father or his mother, and he always insists, "I'm nothing like them."
Yes. That idiom means children often resemble their parents, either in personality, behavior, or appearance. But Sheldon always takes things literally, so these expressions just baffle him.
There's also a "fish out of water," a phrase that basically describes Sheldon's entire childhood. He's constantly out of place at school, at church, even at home.
Exactly. And sometimes characters describe him like that. He's like a fish out of water, meaning he just doesn't belong in the environment he's in. But what's cool is that he owns it.
Here's a fun one. "That dog won't hunt." George uses this phrase when someone has a bad idea or a weak excuse. It's such a Southern thing.
Yeah, like saying, "that won't work," but with more attitude. Another one is "running around like a chicken with its head cut off." Mary used it when she was trying to get the kids ready for school. It just means being super busy and stressed out, without any organization.
How about "spill the beans"? Mima says that when she's trying to get Missy to tell her a secret. Come on, spill the beans. It means tell me everything.
And Missy, being Missy, always does, with dramatic flair. I also noticed "hit the nail on the head" in one episode when Sheldon made a point about someone's motives. The idiom means being exactly right.
Oh yes, and the characters often say "get your act together" to Georgie, especially when he's failing school or getting into trouble. It basically means start behaving properly or get organized. There's this line from George, "You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear." That one cracked me up. It means you can't turn something inherently low quality into something fancy or refined. He was probably talking about Sheldon trying to tutor someone who just wasn't into academics.
Yes. And these idioms, while hilarious, also show the contrast between Sheldon's hyperlogical brain and everyone else's instinctive, metaphorical language. It's almost a recurring joke.
Right. And sometimes Sheldon will pause and say, "That's biologically inaccurate," or "that phrase is nonsensical," and you just die laughing because he misses the point completely. Which is brilliant, because idioms aren't supposed to be logical, they're cultural, emotional, sometimes historical, and Sheldon constantly reminds us how odd they are when you break them down. Like "bite the bullet" or "kick the bucket." Can you imagine Sheldon's face the first time he heard those?
I remember one scene where someone said, "That'll be the day," and Sheldon literally pulled out a calendar and asked, "What day are we referring to?" I swear, Young Sheldon is one of the best shows for language learners. Not just for vocabulary, but for understanding the emotion behind language, the unspoken meanings. It's all there in the idioms.
100%. So if you're watching the show and trying to improve your English, keep a notebook, write down every weird phrase, Google it, and learn the meaning, because American culture lives in those expressions. And for native speakers too, it's a fun reminder of how bizarre a language can be when seen through the eyes of someone like Sheldon Cooper.
Well said. Next time, should we break down specific episodes for vocabulary and phrases?
Let's do it. We could even do a top 10 idioms from season 3 or something like that.
It's on. See you all next episode. Don't forget to bless your hearts and spill some beans before you go.
And try not to run around like a chicken with its head cut off.